Hello, my name is Mars. Today I had a chance to present online new models of trust and governance, architecting a new world, operating system for the planets. Of course, it is a mouthful, but within this target audience, entrepreneurs, artists, inventors, changemakers, it was spot on. I had a history from a Burning Man. Burning Man is in Nevada, on the federal land. Burning Man as an organization has a headquarters in San Francisco. I was a guy from Europe doing business in the UK, England or England and Wales, and all these little differences. In fact, there are so many little islands and they even have their own emojis. And this little red dot has a different law than this red dot. And it's just so complicated. I've realized that everything is kind of arbitrary. Life is what you make out of it. Another powerful realization was at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. This is me with the shiny LED board Hug the Planet. I think I might have hacker mindset. I'm not a hacker, but being creative, being resourceful, thinking outside of the box, finding solutions, being creative with your time and effort. And these guys, they are politicians, they are negotiators, they are guys who are, maybe they have much higher emotional intelligence, but have much less understanding of technology. And I am the hacker, I'm finding a way. These guys are talking, they are negotiating, and they have very little technical expertise. As a result, it prompted me to write a book, System Change, Actionable Policies to Handle Climate Emergency. And again, it's a mouthful title, but I knew, okay, these guys will not figure it out. I need to design the system that is simple, and it can be summarized in 7 words: land use, emission trading system, and energy storage. For example, the emission trading system is that you get some credits, you have some free allowances, you can pollute to a certain extent, but when you look at the details, devil is in details, right? There are 10 different standards for air quality index, and there are 10 different standards for air pollution, emissions, CO2. Australia has a different standard than New Zealand. So it is total mess. And I've actually lost the hope. I've lost the hope, and I was in this deep adaptation preppers category. And then Extinction Rebellion happened. This was absolutely unbelievable. Consciousness rising, people self-organizing, international rebellion, and then this, the COVID, it is just unbelievable. It is completely unbelievable. I'm still trying to think how the humanity will look, but now I have this belief that change is possible. Previously, I was thinking, business as usual, GDP, dollars. I will talk more about the dollars. But first things first. This guy, he is very active in the environmental circles. And apparently, the government's paying, taxpayers' money to bail out airlines and oil companies, which is complete clusterfuck. Ooh. I use the F word, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because they do the stock buybacks. They have some money. This money gives, should be them, but they are buying their own stocks to pump the stock prices and then pay dividends. I just disagree with these practices. This is uncool. The bailouts are very uncool. There was this guy, Satoshi Nakamoto, in 2008, he published white paper. In 2009, there was a Genesis blog. This is Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter. I will play this video in the full screen.
I think the most beautiful thing about it is there's no one person setting the direction. And there's no one person on the other side that can stop it. So we have something that is pretty organic in nature and very principled in its original design. I think the Bitcoin white paper is one of the most seminal works of computer science in the last 20, 30 years. It's poetry. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
really
pretty
is.
cool technology. I mean,
Yeah, and the underlying principles behind it that went into it, even to the point of releasing it under a pseudonym. I think that's a very, very powerful statement. The timing of when it was released is powerful. It was a total activist move. I mean, it's moving the world forward in a way that I think is extremely noble and honorable and enables everyone to be part of the story, which is also really cool.
He is right. The Bitcoin stands on the shoulder of giants. Bitcoin is possible through decades of innovation in the computer science, and the Bitcoin white paper itself, which is only 8 pages long, is a poetry. It is a masterpiece. It is absolutely unbelievable, and when I first read it, it was a aha moment. I highly recommend you check this out. Currently, we obsess mostly about the GDP, but I'm strongly advocating triple bottom line. People, planet, profit. When you have profit, you limit everything to the dollar number. When you include planet and people, you can take into account the full economic cost, environmental destruction, the more factors than just money. And it is not an isolated concept. We have a gross national happiness, which is in Bhutan, which is a small country, but it is just an idea that, hey, other things are possible. We have a genuine progress indicator, we have a human development index, we have other metrics than just money. And what we can do, I'm actually suggesting it. Whenever you have this international trade, you do some customs, VAT, some compliance, regulation, electrical safety, whatnot. Put a number of CO2 and the number of water that was used to produce it. I was talking about this emission trading system. Right now you can just outsource your production to the country that has a different units. And now, you are technically speaking legit. So in order to make things happen, we need to change the rules, change the law, and even change how we make this law. We need to change the money, change the countries, change the law, change the policies, change the courts, change pretty much everything. But I believe this change is possible. For instance, this is actually a small country, not really a country, but it is a country. It's complicated. It's a unclaimed land. You see the river, and the river doesn't care about passports or borders, and there is some old maps before the World War II, very old. And apparently no one wants this patch of land because they would lose much more land on the other edge. As a result, it's completely unallocated and the vision is big. This is another idea of seasteading and offshore platforms. These are another guys declaring independence. Ended up not very well for them, but I'm not losing the hope. This is actual examples of Singapore and Hong Kong. We have potential to create this type of innovation and entities, and actually the technology giants are more powerful than countries. Here is like Apple engaging in the political clashes between China, Hong Kong and Taiwan. Here is Apple and Google updating maps of Crimea Peninsula after Russian annexation. I mean, these giants, they are so big, they spend millions of dollars on lobbying. Here is Google in European Parliament. Here is tech giants, Google, Facebook, Apple, $65 million per year. And you can compare it to, this is entire country, Nauru. The budget for lobby legally in European Parliament and US Congress is equal to the GDP of the entire country. And I'm actually thinking that some countries such as Maldives, they are going underwater, and there are plenty of these little small states And Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, they are more powerful than these countries. Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Google on a daily basis, directly and indirectly, touch half of the population. And Google changing homepage in a single day can just change human perception. And I think that they should have they should be the first-class citizens. I'm actually thinking that in the United Nations there should be 365 entities. These are the entry criteria with some limits so that there is not just tech companies or not just the banks, but I think that if you are a gigantic entity that has billions of dollars under management and on a daily basis you influence so many things, you are having this influence indirectly. We want you at the table. We want to work with you. This is just natural evolution. These corporations are more powerful than countries. As a result, they do this now kind of shady, legally, lobby, but maybe we should get them at the table and work together. This is my suggestion, because this is, for example, the United Nations who manages oceans. These guys manage fishes. These guys manages pollution from ships. This guy manage something. This is just mess. We need to think how we organize our civilization. We need to think how we organize society. New dimension of money, new dimension of trust, new governance, like all these things are new, but this COVID situation makes me realize actually it is possible. The change is possible, and I'm just trying to connect different dots, tell a coherent story, and for example, this is the new dispute resolution on the blockchain, Kleros and Aragon, two notable projects that provide fast and cheap dispute resolution. And the next time I will be engaging in some contract, I will choose the jurisdiction of these guys. It won't be England and Wales and English courts. It will be these guys on the blockchain. This is Estonia. Estonia is a young society. They take pride in being the most digitally enabled nation on the planet. And in fact, anyone can apply for a residency. Me, from here, I can apply online and then pick up my identity card from the embassy. This allows me to start a business in Estonia without going there. And I think this is amazing because for me it's a convenience, and they are young digital society, everything is online, and I can simply vote with my wallet, vote with my brain power to register my business in Estonia. It's just their competitive advantage. This is another entity, another jurisdiction, Vermont, BB LLC, blockchain based. I mean, this is your competitive advantage, and I'm very happy that I can experience and participate in this digital evolution. This is another great conference talk. I will put it in the home screen. It's about DAO becoming the first class legal entity.
Why would we need to grant legal personality to these DAO entities? Is the concept of legal personality an alien concept?
Usually when I have this discussion with lawyers who are not familiar with this industry, they're just in shock when you discuss the concept of granting legal personality to DAO. But if you look at the historical perspective, legal personality is indeed a fiction. Law, on an arbitrary basis, decides to grant legal personality to a form of entity. So if you look historically, we've had legal personality for foundations, legal personality for partnerships, for limited liability companies. From a local point of view, you have municipalities, all of these having legal personality. So legal personality is actually a tool which law uses as an entity form grows in popularity to solve certain issues. And these issues typically relate to, first of all, capacity, sort of capacity to enter into a contract, but also with the right to have legal personality, you have also some responsibilities. And those responsibilities are typically the possibility of recourse and liability against it. Mm-hmm. So as the industry matures and there are more DAOs becoming possible contracting parties, you need to grant to those DAOs legal personality to be able to allow this industry to flourish.
As I said in the opening slide, operating system for the planets, architecting a new world. This is literally a new law that allows DAO, that allows blockchain to be fully functioning, operating entity. I will also show you another video about Bitcoin. Of course, it deserves a full screen.
Well, believe it or not, the cryptocurrency is more stable than the actual, fiat currency, the dollar. Ultimately, because it's more controlled by the people. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, government is a business. Currency is the biggest business in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand money and how it works to understand crypto in so many ways. But more than anything, you don't really have to be educated to it to understand the security process of it. Because it gets really confusing when you start talking about blockchain and all this other, because no one knows what the hell that is.
I don't know what's going on. I'm like,
you know what I'm saying?
I need somebody to explain this to me.
Yeah, so it's really about, it boils down to trust. What you trust that value to be to you. Like the dollar, who's to say what that's worth?
It sounds like a scam to me.
But just think about it. The actual dollar, who says that's worth anything?
The government says it's worth
Okay,
$1.
the government, right?
Right, and they sanction it that the dollar's worth $1 all through the U.S.
100%.
Correct.
But nothing backs the dollar. The U.S. ain't got no natural resource that backs that dollar, my brother. Now, what they do have to back it is the military.
Okay.
That's who backs the dollar. But U.S. ain't got nothing that backs the dollar. The military backs the dollar.
That video made me think, what U.S. military bases have in common? Wow, they are all over the place. That's why they can simply do this. They don't like someone, they do an airstrike because they have military bases, they have all their fighter jets. It's just unbelievable. And I didn't know about it. I'm a very peace and love type of person. I'm not a military guy. I just happen to connect the dots. Ooh, if you have that many military bases, you can do this. It's unbelievable. And this whole war, economy, destruction, and oil, and this and that, this is unbelievable. I think we just need to change the money. We need to change the money, change the governance, change how we make decisions, change our incentives, change our evolutionary strategy. We need to rethink, why do we exist as humanity? Why am I having this conversation? Why am I having this talk? Well, currently I live on this planet. There is only one planet right now. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. I love all his efforts. At the same time, this whole entire climate change is real. It is happening right now. If you think we had a refugee crisis, it is just a drop in the ocean. A lot of Earth will become uninhabitable. People will, struggle. I'm not saying they will die, but I'm worried that there will be so much tension, so much instability, so much frustration, so much hunger, so much radicals, so much whatever it is, that I am terribly worried about climate change. Climate change is one of the, biggest risks. They were actually quite good predicting about the biology thing, and this Doomsday Clock, this is this illustration, how close we are to the extinction. And the latest edition mentions nuclear warfare, fake news, and of course climate change. And these three go side by side. Fake news, like the President of the United States is a climate change denier. It is unbelievable. So what can we do with all this stuff? This is my plan. I would like to buy this island. This island is far north in Estonia. I mentioned Estonia, great digital society. It is far north, which means resilient to climate change, and 60 acres. The price is outside of my comfort zone, but only slightly. There is the right balance between challenge and I can do this. So if you like me, if you like this energy, if you like this idea, please help me buy this island. It will be fully autonomous, fully according to the new models of trust and governance, and I think that this is something cool. Once again, thank you. You always know where to find me. My name is Mars Robertson. the website genesis.re, Genesis as the new source, beginning, origin, RE as in restart, reboot, rejuvenate. This island is a potential to manifest and embody all these values in real life. Thank you for your attention.